Computer. Yeah, so let me give some basic idea about Informatica MDM or MDM concept, and then we can jump into the kind of MDM tool. So let me open a Excel sheet for this. So as we know that we use a different ETL tool for integrating data from the different sources, right? Like if we have the sources, heterogeneous sources, like some data is coming in flat files, some in CSV, some from different DB, some data from CRM source, and also with the help of ETL, we can integrate the data, and we can streamline the data, and we can do reporting or other things on top of that. So basically, data will be in the single format after integrating all the data, right? So here in MDM, there is a one difference. So here we do use the ETL tool mostly in all the MDM projects. That's why it's a good that the student who are trying to learn MDM who should have the ETL background, because in most of the MDM project we see that we use a ETL for integrating data from the different sources. And once the data is integrated, once the data is streamlined, then we do the master data, like we create the master data on top of that. So what is master data? For understanding that, let's take some example. So suppose we are doing some banking project. Okay. So let me share my screen, right? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes. No, and not now. I think it's in
Okay.
progress.
Okay. Now you're able to see, right?
Yes. Now I can see.
So here, suppose we are working on some banking project, and in banking, as we know that we have the different sources, like different segment, right? So for sources, let's take example like we have the different segment in the bank, like we say that account opening department, right? Then we will have suppose loan department, then we will have credit card department. Like that, we will have many other department, right? So basically, department means different source for us, right? As we know that once we go for account opening, they ask for some documentation or some kind of KYC information. So on the basis of that, they gather some information about customer. Okay. So suppose for customer, they taken like name, address, some kind of mobile number, something like that. On high level, we are taking few attributes only for understanding. So suppose once I went to bank for account opening and I given my KYC, so there they registered my name, suppose Ramesh Kumar. Ramesh Kumar, okay, and its address to be given, suppose 123 Bangalore somewhere, right? And mobile number we given, suppose 123456789, something like that, 10. Okay, maybe in between that, the customer moved from Bangalore to other location. So once he is applying for loan, then he will give the his address will change basically. So just for example, let me write this. So suppose customer is in Bangalore only, but the address got changed, or in some cases address will not change, right? In some cases mobile can change. This can happen, right? This whole scenario can happen, but mostly the name will be same of the customer, but still name spelling and others can also change. As we know that the spelling of the name in a kind of voter ID card or in Aadhaar card or in driving license sometimes differs due to some scrutiny or due to some kind of wrong printing or this all. So we go later for correction, right? So suppose for Ramesh, they kind of noted name like that, Ramesh, not H, just Ramesh. And here is a Kumar. And Bangalore, suppose address is same. And mobile number, let's say it was same. Okay. Now, once we go to credit card department, then again they will do complete KYC, right? They will ask all the documentation and all the details. So suppose here they noted the name like Ramesh Ramesh. For Kumar, they noted like they got more detail. Kumar Singh, something like that. And in address, suppose it got 456 Bangalore. And in the mobile number, suppose it got changed, so it got 987654310, something like that. Okay. So suppose these are the different sources. Although these sources will not be in the single format, in a practical project, we know that these sources can feed the data in form of some flat file, some CSV, or some XML, or some data can come from some CRM source. So for making data like that in a single database, we use the ETL tool or some other technology to streamline the data first. Okay. Then our MDM concept will start. So in MDM, what we do basically, in MDM, as we know that these three is the same customer, but this same customer passed with a different kind of department of the bank. So its information got stored like this. But suppose bank wants to do some promotion, like he wants to send some marketing campaign, like some message or some email campaign or something like that. So banks should have some kind of trusted information so that on the basis of that he can do the promotion. Otherwise, suppose now currently the correct mobile number of the customer is this, okay, or suppose the trusted mobile number was this. But customer, if we don't have a master data, then bank will do the promotion or campaign on all three number, right? Or all three email ID if we have. So it will be kind of wastage of more money of the bank, right? But if we know the single information about the customer, then we can only target that single data. We will do the campaign on the single data. Yeah, if we are sending some kind of postal promotion, so we will send that postal promotion on the single address, not on the three address. If you are sending some SMS, we will send SMS on single mobile number, not all three or five or 10 mobile numbers, same on email, okay? So that's the need of creating the master data to reduce the overall cost of the customer, of the kind of client, so that in the less input they can get the more output. Like if they spend invest the less amount of money, they can get the better productivity. Okay, this is a one region. Apart from that, we have other region as well. Like suppose if we create the master data, then we will have the different downstream channel like data warehouse, ODH, or different other applications. So those applications can consume the single master data only, not all the data. So there are many benefits of creating the master data. For example, I explained two examples. So now let's try to understand how do we create the master data, and means out of these three information, how we can make sure that we should be part of master data out of three. So for that, we use a concept of weightage or kind of trust in the MDM. So what that trust do, we discuss with the business and we do some data sampling, and on the basis of that data sampling, we define some trust level of each attribute. So for name attribute, for address attribute, and for the mobile number attribute, we define the trust level for each source system. Okay. So what we do for defining the trust, let's do one thing here. Let's enter a new column. So this is a new thing which we do in MDM. These things, trust and all, we don't use in the ETL. Sometimes we do the same thing if you have worked on IDQ. In IDQ also we have a option to define weightage trust and doing creating the match rule and doing the matching and all. We have in the IDQ, but that is a little more complex. And if you want to define more complex match and merge rules, so those are very flexible and easy in Informatica MDM. So that's why we are using Informatica MDM or other MDM tools for creating the master data. So here we will have a trust. trust information. I will let you know what is trust. So we will have trust of all the attributes. If you have 20 columns which needs to be create the master data, then we need to have the trust level of all the 20 columns from the respective source. So what is that meaning? Suppose there is a source account opening, right? And business is saying that for the name, we are 80 or 90% confident on the name field. So here they just give the 90, okay, for the name field. And for account opening, for address, they are saying what the address we get in our record, we are kind of suppose 80% confident that address is correct, 100% correct. And in mobile number, suppose they are saying that what the mobile number we get on account opening department, so it's mostly kind of 85% correct out of 100. Okay. Same for loan department, business will let you know that what will be the weightage at trust. So for name, suppose for loan, as we know that it's a more strict system because they do KYC strictly for giving loan and all. So here they are saying that for name is 95% true. For address also, they are saying they verified the address. So about that is 100% trustable because in loan, as we know that they do a kind of physical verification and all, right? And mobile number also, they are saying that it's a more trusted because they did a KYC and SMS verification. So they are saying mobile number also more confident on loan department. Now for credit card department, bank is saying that for name we are 90% sure that 90% data will be correct, and we can give a weightage of 90 for the name field. Same like in name, if we have first name, last name, middle name like that. So for that attribute, for first name, for last name, for middle name, we define the trust like this. So whatever columns we will have, whatever different attributes we will have, here we have taken 3 as an example, but in a real life, if you have 20, 30 or 40, so for each attribute, we define the trust. Okay. So suppose for credit card department, here we have a trust level of 90. And for address, suppose bank is saying that for address also, they are sure that it's 95% correct. It's more trusted than account opening. And for mobile number, this is 95% correct. It's more trusted than at least account opening. So like that, they given some trust level information. Okay, so this information mostly we get from business. The business analyst or the guy who is coordinating with the business, they will give the details. Sometime as a technical developer, if we are involved in the technical requirement gathering, then business asks us to do some data sampling and give these stats. Okay. So for these stats, we use IDQ and other tool for getting the data, doing the data sampling and all. And apart from that, yeah, we use some SQL and all to get these stats, and we give the stats to business, and business do analysis further, and they give final kind of trust level information for each attribute. Okay, so here we can see we have given trust level. If you are creating a master data, MDM data, master data, so this information we need to define within the MDM system, like in the MDM application. Like for this source, for this for the name field, the trust level is this. For address, the trust level is this. For mobile number, trust level is this. Like that, whatever sources you will have, you need to define this trust information for all the sources and for each column. So now MDM have the detail about your different sources and trust level of the different attribute of the different sources. This detail we featured in MDM. So there is a concept of creating the matching rule and merging rule that we will see in more detail in the upcoming classes. So in matching, what we do, there is a different algorithm of matching. So kind of on what level you want to do match. Like if you want to do a matching on a very strict level, so if you do very strict level, so it will see that if these two data. So in matching, basically we have two type of matching. That is called one is exact matching, and other is called fuzzy matching. These all details we will see in more detail. So in exact matching, what it will do, it will find the exact match candidate. So if these two will match, then only it will understand that this is a matching candidate and this is the same customer. Because in real life, as you know, in a project we will have millions of data, right? We will not have only these three data for the same customer. In real life, we will have millions of customers in our database. So how our MDM system can understand that these three data or these five data belongs for the same customer? This is a this kind of bigger challenge for the MDM system, right? Out of millions data, how it can identify that this data belongs for the same customer? Because first we have to identify the matching candidate, and then we will try to merge that. Merge means we will create the master data. So for getting this kind of stats for the same customer, we use the concept of matching. And in matching, we define the kind of fuzzy matching and exact matching, and on the basis of that, we get this matching candidate like that. So for one customer, we get like that. For other customer, we'll get like that. For third customer, we'll get like that. So internally, it will create a matching candidate. So we will have some matching table and all. So we'll see later. So there we can easily see that for that candidate, how many matching data we have. For other candidate, how many matching data we have. We can easily see. So after creating the matching candidate, it will create the master data. So in master data, it basically come here, like what value you have defined, a trust level value you have defined in the MDM system. Okay. So this, it will look at this value, and here it's very simple. Like here we can see in MDM, if we have fed three data from these three sources, and for name, if we want to select that which name we should take out of these three. So here we can see name from this source looking more trusted, right? Because it's having the weightage of, it's a weightage in 95 out of these three, this is 90, this is 90, but this is 95. Okay. So for the name, it will take the Ramesh Kumar from loan department. It will not take from the account department and credit card department. Why? Because in account opening department, we can see trust is 90, which is less than 95, and in credit card department, we can see trust is 90, which is also less than 95. That's why for name, it will select the name field from the loan department, which is having the more weightage. Okay. So while creating master data for name field, it will select Ramesh Kumar from loan department. Now, once it will try to select address, then out of three address, which address it should take as master data. So it's basically just look at the trust level. So here we can see this trust level is having higher weightage. From loan department, we have one address and which trust is 100, right? Which is more than 95 and 80. So blindly just it will take the address from loan department for address field. And if we are coming to mobile, so mobile again, we have taken suppose mobile number from loan department only. For example, let me give other value. Like in credit card department, we got something like from business, we got this stats for the mobile number. So here we can see that mobile number from the credit card department having the higher weightage, right? So MDM just take this mobile number in their system and it will store. Okay. So on the basis of this trust information for the single customer, MDM created this master data, name as this, address as this, and mobile number as this. So now in MDM, once we do the practical, we will see that out of this 4, 3 or 5 or 8 candidates what we had, we will have only one data in the main master table. Okay. And other data will still be there, but those will be available in the cross reference table or in history table. Okay. So we can easily consume this master data, and we can do sales promotion, or even we can do the streaming of this data to the downstream applications for consumption, like for data warehouse application or for CRM application or some reporting application. So out of these three data, we will just feed this one data, which is more trusted. Okay. So this is a concept of MDM. This is called creating the master data management. Means creating a master data and manage it. So this is a basic concept of master data management. Like in ETL, we know that we have extract, transform, and load. So same like that, here we have MDM, master data. So here we created a master data, and managing this master data is called the master data management. So this is a very basic concept of the MDM. Okay. So Ashish, if you have any doubt on this, you can ask the question.
Yeah, like in MDM, where we are storing the master data,
Yeah.
So apart from storing the data, it will also store the sources from where it is creating the master data. Like Ramesh Kumar, it has created from loan department.
Yeah, yeah. So in MDM, I will show you. We will have basically two main table. One is called base object table, and one is called cross reference table. So you will see that after doing all the matching and merging, after doing all the MDM process, this data will be present in the master data, that is called the master table, that is called the base object table. And this all the candidates which was participated for the matching, this all and its source level details as well. This all detail basically will be available in the cross reference table. So what you are saying, yes, we will have the means a reference of all the data in some other table, and single data will be available in the master table. So we can easily track back that what was the other matching candidate for this data. So we can easily get this matching candidate from the cross reference table.
Okay.
Yeah. So hope you understand the basic concept of master data. Na? This is the basic
Yes.
concept of master data. Okay. Like we have the basic concept of ETL, but yes, it's a very bigger area. So once we go step by step further for every topic, then we will understand the concept more clearly. And it's more interesting as well if the guys are from ETL or SQL or from a kind of data related background. So it will be more interesting because you can understand each and every concept. So let me open the MDM tool and show you how we will access the MDM application and how you are going to do the practical. So for that, I will give you some IP address and you need to just do the remote desktop like that. Remote desktop, just RDP we do, right? So like that, we just click on remote desktop and here we give some IP address like that and just you need to give connect and here let me actually change the feature and we will connect
And
with it. Yeah.
apart apart from Informatica MDM, what are the leading tools for MDM that are in the market currently for
Yeah,
MDM?
for MDM, as per my knowledge, I can see that 80 to yeah, 70 to 80% my market has been captured by Informatica MDM. Okay, because the customer who are using Informatica Power Center, Informatica IDQ, Informatica kind of product, most of them will go with the Informatica MDM product, Informatica MDM. And other competitors, it have like it is a Reltio MDM have. Then we have SAP MDM, Oracle MDM also have, but those are very far from Informatica MDM market, you know. So that's why because the scalability, the performance, the kind of the what is the feature of the applications, these all are very good in Informatica MDM. It's very easy to manage, very easy to create master data, very easy to do the kind of Java API call and all. So lots of flexibility we have. And that's why this master is Informatica MDM is leading in the market out of all the applications.
Okay. And like we have that Informatica is moving to cloud, at least for data integration. I have seen like
Yeah, yeah, IACS and all, right.
yeah. So is it same for Informatica MDM also? Is it moving to cloud?
Yeah, it's already I think a few years back already it had the cloud version. So, but most of the customers are using the on-premises version of this Informatica MDM. Because in on-premises, as we know that we will have more flexibility to manage and kind of design the infrastructure for our need. But small customers who are having 2 or 4 or 3 year developers like that, they are using the cloud version. So in cloud version, what MDM will do, they will manage all the infrastructure and everything, and they will give you just username and password for login to console. So if you learn this on-premises, then it will be very easy for you to learn this Informatica MDM.
Okay.
So able to see my remote desktop, right?
I can see only Excel sheet.
Oh, okay, okay. Let me stop here. Yes, here. Hmm. Okay, let me share this desktop. So now you will be able to see my remote desktop.
Yes.
Okay. So this window you will get while doing the practice. Okay. And here from admin user, I will start this JBoss. So they, because JBoss is kind of what is it? One deployment application in the Informatica MDM kind of landscape. So here we will have basically let me open this notepad plus plus. Yeah, so Informatica MDM landscape. So this will take a few minutes. So let it start. Okay. So I have started it. So it will take 2 or 3 minutes to start. So in Informatica MDM landscape, we will have kind of these applications. So we will have ETL tool. You can see my Notepad plus plus, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So we will have ETL tools. Sorry, ETL tools for integrating data from source, for integrating data from different. So it's not necessary that always ETL tool will be there, but yes, in most of the project you will see that ETL tool will be there. And some places it will have Power Center, some places IDQ, some places Pentaho data integration, SAP ETL tool like that. But in most of the project you will have the ETL tool for integrating data from different sources. And then of course we will have some database for storing data, for storing master data. MDM. So in Informatica MDM, we do all the stuffs in the database itself. Okay, like in ETL, as you know that you can do segregation and all whatever you want if you have data in flat file as well. Once we get the data in the ETL landscape, we can apply the transformation and all, and we can do anything. But here in the MDM, the one prerequisite is that you have to integrate data from all the sources and you have to put in a single database first. Okay, like for example, if we are using Oracle data, here we are using the Oracle DB. Okay, so you have to read data from all the sources and you have to bring to the Oracle database first, where we will install it. Okay, this is one prerequisite. And then we will have some web applications. So app server basically, so we say app server. So in app server, we will have kind of JBoss. So here we are using the JBoss for the application server. So this will help for the deployment of our applications. And then we will have the Informatica MDM tool basically. So this will have different things like MRM server, the clean server. Okay. Then we will have a kind of different API. Then we will have user exits. Different components we will have. So I will explain that in more detail later. So it's part of Informatica MDM tool. So we have database, we have application server, we have the Informatica MDM tool, and before that we could have the ETL tool, may or may not. Okay. So this is a landscape of the Informatica MDM. And sometimes we do use some streaming tool once we create the master data. So that master data we need to publish or to some downstream application. So for that, we do use some MQ related tools, and also that MQ related feature is available in the Informatica MDM itself. So I will show you so that we can use our Informatica MDM tool for that. And if you want to use a third party tool, that also we can use. So for streaming the master data to the downstream application. So this is a high level landscape. Let's see what is the status of the applications, which is still starting. Because once it will start now, so we'll get a lazy or passive message that all the things have been started properly. So it's still starting. So here let me give you some kind of high level architecture data flow of the MDM. Okay, Informatica MDM. So Informatica MDM data flow. Okay, so here we will have call different sources, and from sources data will go to MDM landing layer. Okay, then data will go to the MDM staging layer. Then we will have matching. Basically here we define the trust and validation, and then data will go to, then the next layer will come, what you say, load layer. So basically we load the data in the subject table, and then we have the matching and merging. Once we have data in the subject table, we do that. So what we do, we get the data from sources and we put the data in the landing layer. So each layer here you can see, now I understand that you will not be able to figure it out what these are, but this all layer it will take around 2 to 3 classes. We will spend 2 to 3 classes for understanding each layer. So you can understand these all are the kind of bigger topics, but on high level we are trying to understand. Okay, so what will be kind of data flow. So once we read the data from sources, we push the data to the MDM landing layer. Okay, so landing layer is nothing but just we create some landing table in Oracle database. So landing table that we can create with the help of Informatica MDM application also. So here you can see now we got the message lazy or passive or on demand. So that means our application has been completely started. Now we can access that application. Okay. So let me open the application. Then accordingly I will explain this. So for accessing the application, we can click on this Criterion console. So able to see my screen properly, right?
Yes, yes, I can see yours.
Okay, fine. So here we will have different databases. Basically, this we call ORS in Informatica MDM terminology. But on high level, just to try to understand that these all are the different schema database which we are connecting. So here you will see this master database, MDM Hub master database. Okay. So this database or ORS is basically to store the metadata of the Informatica MDM. Metadata, hope you understand, like if you have used any other tool, so there we will have a separate kind of a schema or database where we only store the metadata information. We don't store the actual business data. Okay, same like that here also we have the concept of storing the metadata in the master database. So here we will not have any business data. So whatever details we will have in MDM component and all the background table or infrastructure table, those all will be stored in this MDM Hub master database. And for creating the business related requirement and business related data, these all things will be stored in this training database. So this, in place of training, you can give name to anything. You can give name to kind of a development database, development ORS, PV ORS, production ORS, something like that. As per our requirement, we can rename to anything. Just for easy understanding, I have renamed to training because this is for training purpose. Now we can connect. So this is Informatica MDM Hub console, which basically we use for kind of all the development of the MDM. So this is a single window application. So within this window, we can do administration, we can do deployment, we can do development. So we can do modeling, we can do many steps in this single window. Okay, because in the Power Center and other applications, you see that we will have Informatica Power Center Designer for development, Informatica Power Center Monitor for monitoring of the jobs, in repository manager you will have just for exporting, importing, and doing the high-level repository related things like. Then we will have workflow manager just for creating the session and workflow. There we have the four application, four window we have. But here, for doing all the things, we just have a single window. Within this single window, we can do all these steps. So we can here, if you see, we can we have the let me start from a starting. So here you can see we have the different workbenches. Okay. So this is here basically in MDM we have five workbench. Okay. Workbench means kind of five different segments of the application. So if we expand this configuration, so this is basically related to kind of admin work. Okay, here we can create the database. What we database we create in the Oracle. So that database binding we can do in this database section, and that for that we always need to connect to master data. As we know that master data is storing the kind of infrastructure related tables and metadata information. So if you want to do any configuration related things, so you always have to use the master data. So it will ask you to connect to master data. Okay. So let's connect to master data. So you are connected to master data. How you will understand? So you can come here in bottom. So here you can see MDM Hub master database. Okay. That means we are connected to the master database. Now here you can see two database. So these two database, we can use any database for doing our development and training. Okay. We can define more databases also, like for development, QA, SIT, UAT, for production, whatever databases we want to define, we can define here. And here we will have user. So as we know that here we can create the user and we can give the different roles. So here security providers. So whatever users we will define, we can give the different kind of security levels. And here we will have a kind of single sign-on and these all option also like how user can sign in easily to the application. Okay, tool access. So out of this, all the workbenches, configuration, model, security access manager, and all. Which tool access you want to give to user, you can manage from here. Message queue. Just once you created the master data, I told we can stream that data to the downstream applications through this message queue. We will have repository manager. So this repository manager we use for the deployment. Here we will have the UC promote option, import option, export option. So this repository manager we use for the deployment from one environment to other environment. Here we will have enterprise manager. So in enterprise manager, you can see the details of the applications. What are different applications are there? Like here we have Informatica MDM. Here we have database as Oracle. Here we will have application server as JBoss, and all the other details, all the other installed parameter details you can see in the enterprise manager. In workflow manager, this is basically for the active UAS. So this we will cover in the last session once we complete all the basic and all. So this workflow manager is basically for active UAS. So active UAS is nothing but a BPM application that is called business process management application. Like as we know that in some cases we have a different approval system, right? If some task is created, then it go to different level for approval, and then that will be committed in database finally. So those all the steps, business process management steps, we do in the with the help of workflow manager. Now this configuration part is finished. Now if we are coming to model, so if you are a developer, so you will spend your 70 to 80% of your time in this model section, because this section is very important for the developers. This model section. The configuration section you can see is used very rarely. It's a kind of mostly used by admins, or if you are developer also, we use very rarely, like once or twice in a week. But we spend our 80 to 90% of the time within this model section. Why? Because in model section we do a core development of the MDM. Like here we have a schema. So here in the schema, it is saying which database or schema you want to do the development. Okay. So if you are coming to model, you have to connect to particular database or particular ORS. So here, suppose we want to use the training. So suppose we are connected to training. Here you can see that this got changed. How it got connected to training from the master data. Okay. So here you can create a different landing table, a stage table, and all. I will let you know that later in future. So here you can, yeah,
Suppose we are creating tables in the training database.
yeah.
So in that case, where the metadata will store, it will store in MDM Hub master database or in training only.
No, so always the metadata will store here only. Okay. Always, actually, in all these sample databases, let me open this SQL server. We can see that. So in even in all the database also we will have the infrastructure table. Okay. So in this infrastructure table, if you are doing something here, so those details will be stored in this database itself, because this database will also have some infrastructure tables, some metadata tables. Okay. So let me show you. And if you are doing first time installation, so those installation related things mostly will be stored in this master database. Because first time, if you are doing installing the application, you don't have any database, right? So for that, we always use the master database for the first time installation, and all those details will be stored in this master database. But suppose if you are doing some development here, so what means where the master metadata of this object will store? Your question is like that, right? So
Yeah.
within training also, if let's see, open the training, we see that we have some infrastructure tables. So within that infrastructure tables, it will store. Let me open this table. So this is my table I have created for training, and here you can see this all C repair, C repose, and all. This all table is master MDM table. This C repose. Now this all is infrastructure table basically. This all. Okay. So whatever table you are creating, whatever match and merge you are defining and all, this all detail will be there within these tables respectively. Okay. So this lies within the same database or same ORS. You can understand. Okay, it will be in the same ORS. And for doing a first time installation, we don't have any database. So those installation details will be stored in this master database that is called CMX system. So here if you come, so here you will not have any user defined tables, okay? Employee or anything. Here we have only the infrastructure table, CD push and out. Okay, so here you will have only configuration related things. Like if you are doing some configuration related things, so those details will be stored in this CMX system. But if you are doing some development within this, development object related details will be stored in this training itself. But if you are doing some configuration related thing after installation again, then those configuration related thing will be stored here. Like you are changing your ORS. Suppose you had suppose two database now. You want to create database for SIT, for UAT, for production. So once you register the database here, so where those information will go? So those information will go here only in master database, not in the training and not in other. Okay, so this is the difference. If you are working within that, if you are doing some development, so those details will store within this within this training meta database. But if you are adding some additional database or doing some kind of JBoss configuration changes, so those details will store here. That means application level configuration change will store in the master database CMX system, and local ORS related things will store in the respective ORS itself. Okay.
Yeah.
So here you see that we define our different tables. Here we define our models. Like here, if you have 20, 30 kind of tables, you will define primary key, foreign key, and all the modeling. Here we define our, I told you, like different source systems. And here we define the trust level of all the source system. Here we create the kind of queries. Basically, in query is same like view in the SQL. You know that view in SQL, same like that. Here we have query. Here we have package. Uh, Query is same kind of a SQL in the SQL, but package is kind of view. So in package, it will we will have a put package, display package. So if you want to only view the data, you can create a display package. If you want to update something, you can create the put package, something like that. Here you will have clean functions. So once you are loading data from a landing table to a stage table, you can apply the clinch function. Same like in ETL, we apply some clinch function between source and target. So we don't have that much flexibility here, but yes, we have few of the clinch functions available here. We will see in detail, and that we can use for the data clinching. This mapping, we will see. Basically, here I told like we have the MDM landing layer, and then we have MDM stage layer. So once we move data from here landing to a stage, we define the mapping. Okay, that mapping source we will have landing table, target we will have the stage table. So with the help of that mapping, we can move data from landing table to a stage table. So that mapping we define in this section. Okay. This hierarchy manager. So in hierarchy manager, basically, if you have the different business entity, like you will have employee detail, you will have the employee department detail, you will have employee reporting details. If you have employee kind of HR department details, so all the business entity we can relate in the hierarchy manager. Like if you are having one employee, you can see it related to how many departments. Okay, or if one customer is there in bank, it's related to how many different segments, it's having how many different accounts, no? So those traverse different level of kind of business entity traversing we can do in the hierarchy manager. Then we come to the next workbench, that is called security access manager. So this is basically for creating users and giving the respective roles. Okay, and in secure resources you can secure the resources, like if you want to expose few of the tables to third party application. So and if you want to restrict some of the tables or objects to not show outside of the MDM application, so we can do this all kind of security here in the resource manager. And in these roles and users, we create here we create the user in the configuration, and here we can define the roles, like which user should have a what role. So this is kind of admin related part. And then we come to data steward. So data steward, basically this is a kind of manual activity. So this data steward in the real project, they will have knowledge about the data in their system. Okay, so what they do kind of manual intervention. Sometimes once data is partially matching, suppose it's not matching completely, so we have a doubt, like this is a data of same customer or same product or not. Okay, so in that case what we do, we send the data to the data steward, and since data steward will have the knowledge about their internal data, so they can understand this data belongs to same customer or same product or not, and accordingly they can do the manual action on that. So here we will have data manager, so that we can view the data and we can do many actions. Here we have merge manager, we can manually merge the data. Here we have hierarchy manager. So whatever hierarchy we will define here, so those hierarchy details we can see here and we can manage. So the data steward is a kind of manual activity done by some data steward people who having the knowledge about their organization data. Then in the last we have the utility section. So this is the kind of we say that is a miscellaneous section. So here we have two important things, that is called batch viewer. So here we can execute the job from here, and we can see the kind of status of the job, like it's got failed, here like it got failed, it's failed due to what region. We can see the message of failure, and if it got succeeded, then how many record got loaded, how many got rejected, something like that. So this is for monitoring the job execution. We can execute the job from here and we can monitor it. Okay, and if you want to combine many job in one group, so that for that we have the batch group. So in batch group you can combine 5 jobs, 10 jobs. You can manage the order of the jobs, like this job should run first, then this job should run first, like that. So you can combine many jobs in one group and you can manage the orders, and you can run one batch. So that batch will trigger all the job in respective sequence. So this batch viewer and batch group is just for the job executions. This process server basically we use for the cleansing activity. So once we define mapping here you see, once we define any mapping, like here, if you see here we have source, here we have target, this is landing table, this is stage table. In between that we use some cleanse functions as well. So if we execute this, so for doing the cleansing activity, this process server is needed. So process server is basically helps us to do the kind of clean related activity once we move data from landing to a state. Then this will come into picture. Audit manager. So here we will have message queue, like I told. Like once we have created the master data and we want to publish the data to the downstream application, then in that case we can use this message queue option, and with the help of this message queue, we can publish the data to the downstream. And here we will have shift manager. So this shift manager is basically a API call in Java. So we will have some API available in this Informatica MDM. That API we can use for doing the external calls to the SOAP or to the Eclipse that we will see in the respective classes. And this is a user object. Basically, this is called the user exit. Okay. So this user exit is what? This is basically we do a Java custom code, and with the help of that, if we find that some of the features are not available here, so that feature we can enhance or we can add on that feature with the help of user exit. So if you find that few of the features are not available here, some clean functions are not available, some validation rules are not available. So those features we can inherit through the user exit. So for user exit, what we do, we use a kind of Eclipse or some platform for doing the Java related code, and there we write the Java code, and that Java code we can kind of combine in this application, and with the help of that we can extend the features of our application. So that is the use of our user exit. So this is our core MDM, which we will see in our upcoming classes one by one. And apart from that, if I list down all the things which we cover, so this is a MDM hub which we discussed. This all is part of MDM hub. So this we are going to cover in our class. Apart from that, we are going to cover SIF API in Eclipse, through Eclipse and SOAP API, how to use this SIF API, okay? And then we are going to use user exit. So user exit, why we are writing here? Because for that we use the Eclipse for doing the Java code. So we will do some Java code through Eclipse, and we will see how we can extend the feature of the MDM hub to the user exit. Then we will have provisioning, which is more important in nowadays. So that we can create the what we say web applications for MDM, and that web application is called Entity 360. So here we will have Entity 360 as well. So this is basically a web application, web app for users. Okay, so these all things we are going to cover. Apart from that, we will have kind of interview related questions and answer. Interview preparation we will do in the last class, and then we will have resume preparation, how we can prepare our resume for job change and all. And yeah, and in the last, as I worked on-site locations, so I spent 6 years on-site. So I will try to refer the resume on on-site colleagues also. 6 year on-site experience I had, so I will try to refer resume on-site if you guys are interested to go for on-site. So these are all the things I can do. Apart from on-site in the offshore, also in India, also I can refer your resume in my respective circle. And yeah, apart from that, if you are deploying in jobs, so on job support also I will provide for a few days so that you guys can uh, feel the confidence. Like if you are doing some job change or something, so you should not afraid that how I will manage the situation and how I will do the work. So a few days I will do the job support also, so that you will have a confidence and you can start your journey. So these all things I will take care in my kind of training journey. So here we spend more time, like 60-70% time here, and 30 to 40% time I will spend here. So this is all about plan for the upcoming training for the Informatica MDM. Ashish, if you have any question, you can ask on this.
Clear most of the part. This provisioning and all, I will get access
Yeah,
to that.
this all you will get access. I think this if you will get user exit, provisioning, entity, all you will get access, and you will have a right to play and do your create your all applications and whatever you want. Yeah, and most important thing for the kind of for training practice, uh, you will have RDP server access. Okay, so you can use from any 2 GB RAM laptop or desktop also. So I'll give you RDP cloud access. So just you pass the IP address and username and password, and you are connected to application, and you can do whatever you want. So because basically this is a very heavy application, it needs a 16 GB kind of RAM in the system, and also sharing of license of this application is not permissible. So we don't share the application software and all to our student. So we provide the kind of infrastructure or a kind of a proper setup to the student for their practice. And for that purpose, I have the RDP where you can just pass the IP address, username, password, and you connect it to application, and you can do the practice. Very easy to use. And for that, you will have 90 days access. This you will have access of 90 days. So basically, our training will complete in 40 to 45 days. This duration will be total duration will be around 40 to 45 hours. So within that, our training will complete. So 90 days will be more than enough for the kind of practice. So this is our duration. This is our access duration. So this is all about our training. So fine, Asif, let me stop the recording first. And how to stop the recording?